broken drone. Empty factories rust just like our dreams. Jobs deleted by mechanical machines. Inflation's a fire that eats what we hold. Digital diamonds can't buy back our souls. Chained to the screens they built to enslave. No escape from the power we gave. AI whispers your soul ain't your own. Dancing on the ruins of a broken drone. Flirt with the fire of progress we made. Bought it back at the cost of our fate. No touch feels real, no voice sounds true. The future's here, but it ain't for you. We scream for freedom, sold for a bite. Fingers type wars, no one wants to fight. Robots laugh beneath synthetic skies. We're born as ghosts in this digital lie. Chained to the screens they built to enslave. No escape from the power we gave. AI whispers your soul ain't your own. Dancing on the ruins of a broken drone. In a digital wasteland, did you feel the heat trading in the neon light? Did you like coins vanished deep in the system's maze? Financial freedom, did you know was the only way to survive? The lie, the crash, the dips, they burn it all away. No, 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 no. Neon streets standing here, we're block to block, flickering screens, nowhere to hide. Robots rise, taking all our jobs. Crypto still surviving. Day by day, will you ever break free from the chains that fiat made? I want your keys. Tonight, burning money. Feel the burning money. Spending this lonely night, stacking more. Tonight, burning money. Touch me, burning money. Show me your gains with your stash, burning cash. I could never trust the system. Did you feel buried in dead end lies? You keep saying it's all going fine. Did you dream of no more banks, no more chains to bind, keeping us enslaved? Did you lie? Tell me how to break free from this night. Neon streets standing here, we're block to block, flickering screens, nowhere to hide. Robots rise, taking all our jobs. Crypto still surviving. Day by day, will you ever break free from the chains that fiat made? I want your key.
There is no second best.
Welcome back, guys, to another Crypto Chaos episode, another FOMC meeting. It's been a while. It's been a while since the last one in April. How's it going, guys? Welcome, welcome. Back to the chaos. Let's go, and yeah, it's gonna be a doozy.
I think Kevin Warsh has a dilemma.
Gonna be a doozy.
Once you're in that seat, it's a
What's
lot
he gonna
different.
do? What's he gonna do?
I think he's going to want
How's he gonna
to
act?
committee.
The Fed
It's gonna be
clearly has
dovish?
a pretty complicated dynamic.
You do have.
Is he gonna
this
cut?
higher
You're gonna
Western heart
go?
rate
He's gonna do
fluctuation.
nothing.
We have a labor market that
He's
looks
gonna do
stable,
nothing. It's his
but
birthday.
feels tighter.
The Fed is, is going to be
Yes, sir.
careful,
Yes, sir.
not to overreact.
We need to see
Very
the Fed
careful, very
remove the
careful.
easing bias.
We're not going to get a rate cut anytime
Get
soon.
nothing.
Most
Nothing.
officials, of course, are going to be fine.
You get
leaving
nothing,
rates as they
sir.
are.
I think
Nothing.
the Fed will do.
All right, guys, we got about a few minutes. 2 minutes until they should be, of course, presenting him live in his first meeting. 66,000 on Bitcoin right now at the very moment. We've had a volatile day. We've been whiplashing back and forth between 65 and 66 pretty much all day. You can start to see, of course, break down a little bit here now on the afternoon. So how you guys doing? How you guys doing in the chat? We've got Cliff here. How's it going, Cliff? How's it going? And today we're going to be doing, of course, 4 live streams. We already had the morning live. This is, of course, going to be the afternoon from the FOMC, not PAL. Warsh. It slips off the tongue, guys. It's gonna take me a while to get used to it. I've got the bingo card ready to go for Warsh. I'm gonna have to stop myself every time. FOMC Congress Conference, June 17th, 2026. Live stream, yes, and bingo. And bingo tonight, today, right now, as we speak. This is what I got so far on the card. If you guys want to change anything, I had to change some things up to some easy ones. Usually Fed Chair does not even speak about the party line, so it might be harder to kind of predict where we're going to go today. I threw some obviously ones on here, right? We got AI being a big talking point, oil, the economy, inflation, dual mandate. That was Papa Pal's, rhetoric. I don't know if it's going to be the same for Warsh. I don't know. I doubt he's going to say Bitcoin. We always put those on the outskirts. I don't know if he's going to say bipartisan. We have a $10 super chat coming in from Cliff right out the gate. Boom! Thank you so much, Cliff. You thank me, I thank you. It works, of course. That's also a Tito's alert! Yeah, so we get started on the right foot. I want to make a drink. Yes. Tito's alert coming in hot from Cliff. Thank you so much, Cliff, for the $10 super chat. I'm going to have a little bit of a drink. And my camera's dead? Oh, no. It is. I just noticed I'm not even on camera. There we go. That should be better. This one I haven't had a crack at yet in a long time. It's one of my favorites. I just found it right before my move. If I can get that open, we're going to have a little drinky poo for Warsh. I don't think I can open this damn thing. All right, I'll get to that later. But yeah, if you guys want to change anything up on the bingo, let me know, and then we can, of course, swap some things in and out. The Fed balance sheet, that's going to be a big talking point for him. Is he on there yet? We're going to make sure we're not missing him. Not yet. He's late? Is he late? Let me refresh this, make sure it's not behind. As of right now, it's 2:01. Not a good luck to be late on your first day. Is that a can of booze in a bunker? It is, Cliff. It is a can of booze in a bunker. You're absolutely right, sir. This one I haven't found. I've been looking for this damn thing for like 3 years. They just opened up a new liquor store near me as soon as I left. And it's like bottled in a tin. it's like drinking the fun stuff under the sink. Except this stuff is a lot more fun than just going to the hospital. We are still waiting for Fed Chair to come out, and this is also, I guess, child proof, and that means it's also otaku proof as well. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna make a cherry whiskey. It's cherry whiskey with a Coke. And I'm going to have a drink with you guys today, honoring, of course, Kevin Warsh's first meeting. We're waiting for him to come on out any minute now. I'm not sure what I'm going to get into here. Thanks again, Cliff, for the Tito's alert. Thank you. You guys in the chat, as we're waiting for them to come on here. Can't believe, late on your first press meeting. Yeah, not looking on a good look there, huh, Perpetual Divers? No, it's not a good look. Let's double check and make sure no one else is covering. I don't know why Doomberg would miss this, right? I doubt they're gonna miss this. Oh, Warsh. I hope Warsh is not the worst. That's my biggest fear, is he's gonna be the worst. So yeah, he's not out there yet. Everyone is ready to cover him. Is that right there in front of the podium? It is. That is. This is from Fox 10. I don't know if this is real or what. But yeah, as of right now, we don't have Kevin Warsh on Bloomberg. So I'd imagine it's probably real. And it's always good to have a backup, because you guys know how sometimes these meetings go awry. The audio is terrible on one source to another, so we got to make sure we have doubles. Backups. Okay, we do have the bingo ready to go. Again, if you want me to change anything or add something, let me know. I will find something to delete, and we'll, of course, take some suggestions from the audience. Yeah. Cliff says they may have an updated the time. Ooh, yeah, they could have done that. Maybe he's got cold feet. 2:30. What? 2:30. Damn it, guys. We have a half hour. To kill now. Damn it.
Reserve system consists of three main...
They told us 2 o'clock this morning. 2 o'clock this morning. Oh, is it 2 o'clock? 2:30? Come on. So yeah, it looks like they're doing like their little snippet, little thing on there. All right. Well, what are we gonna do for another half hour? Is they're preparing. I guess we'll do the overall market sentiment. How has the day gone so far? If you guys are just joining us, we're waiting for Kevin Warsh. It's gonna be another 30 minutes. 25. Let's see what we can get into. All right. Let's look at the headlines first. We'll start there. CNBC, of course, is waiting for this. Fed holds states steady, as of course that already came out a few hours ago. We're going to see what the rhetoric is from our new Fed chair. And this will be the first time I ever see a new Fed. I've been watching Powell now for way too damn long. Trump says the U.S. will go right back into dropping bombs if he doesn't like the Iran deal. We'd already heard about that this morning. He was getting questions from the press around 10:30 this morning. Yeah, all eyes are on Fed Warsh. JP Morgan says clients should be aggressive buyers of the chip stocks right now. AI investment, Amazon investment chief for AI says the company has lagged OpenAI and Anthropic, but can catch up. What else can we have here in the headlines? Wells Fargo says investors need to prioritize income where it sees opportunity. Yeah, all these big names are calling for these crazy numbers in the S&P 500 this year. I think Wells Fargo is calling for what, 8,800? Look at that big drop in the S&P right now. Damn. 7,400 right now on the S&P 500. So you can take a little bit of a dump this afternoon. The high right now is still 7,600 in the S&P 500. Let's do it. Where are the... come on. Do the thing. Jeez. This is just... TradingView has been acting up lately, guys. TradingView has been acting up lately. Of course, Tom Lee is calling for 7,700 this year. He might be higher than that now. I don't know. We're pretty much there. 8,000 for Wells Fargo. It's 8,100 from Citibank. Again, Citibank pulled theirs back from 8,500. And JP Morgan, last time we heard from them, was 8,000 on JP Morgan. All right. Just kind of, yeah. Buying the time, guys. Buying the time. All right. We got about 20 minutes until Fed chair is going to be up there, guys. What else? Anything else in the headlines? That's pretty much it. Target, Walmart, and Amazon among brands losing the LGBTQ community. Wow. Survey says, a new survey. How appropriate leading up to Juneteenth. All right, let's see what else we have here on CNN. We're looking at the overall sentiment now, going into the meeting. Still holding on to just about 40. We are at 39 this morning, so we're slowly climbing back to neutral. I do like to see that in traditional markets. Or oversold right now. The S&P 500 just showed you guys a little bit there. Coin, of course, Tree going to bring us the fear and greed for crypto. Right now sitting at 22, 1 point lower than yesterday. Nothing to sneeze at there. And yeah, we have the bubbles. I guess we get the bubbles a little bit. The Dixie's still holding on the same spot we were this morning, 99.6. Still trading sideways here. A little bit of a dip here before the meeting. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what Warsh has to see on us for go around. We have bubbles. Anything happening right now within the day on the pullback? Sky AI, Humanity, Velvet, Sentient, all down a decent chunk today. Jido, 11%. Everything else not really feeling it. It's the top 200, top 100. Beat and DEXE are the only things that are coming down quite a decent amount. Overall, right now we're down about 1% on the top 100 and almost 1% basically. Still up 200% respectively. Yeah. Nothing's really going on, guys. Everyone's playing it safe, doing, of course, the Fed chair sideways chop into the meeting. This is how it used to be before things just kind of just moved on their own, and Papa Powell kind of just, on his last final days. Let's see what else we have, what we can get into. How about the Bitcoin on the order books? Let's double check and see the overall health and heartbeat of our space. Looks like we're now starting to fall a little bit. Where are we at right now? 65,200. We just hit 66 again before the live, and then we just lost it like that. Down another 500 bucks within the live stream. We just started 10 minutes ago. 10 minutes ago, guys. Ridiculous. Other than that, I still say the same thing I said this morning. It's looking pretty bullish here in the last few hours. Give or take, going into this meeting, it's not too bad. Again, we did just lose a bit of that momentum as we just lost it right before the meeting. Let me get back in the chat real quick, catch up with you guys, and yeah, maybe we can get into some crypto doom scrolling while we're waiting for Kevin Warsh. As of right now, he is not out there yet. We are waiting till 2:30 now. 2:30. All right. Maybe he's getting cold feet. I don't know. Okay. Cliff says, Pal sucks, says Fat Sonic. I'm gonna miss Pal, man. He's in the background still. We'll probably get a bunch of interviews, maybe after this meeting. But he's still, of course, on the board. Fat Sonic says, I'm shorting Ethereum and I have limit orders on Hype and BNB. They gonna fill. Ooh, a nice chunk there. Fat Sonic. What up, G-Dog in the house? What is going on, G-Dog? How's it going? Also, if you guys want me to look at any coins, we do have about 15 minutes. I can facilitate that need if required. All right, let's dive into, what's going on with crypto Twitter. Let's see what's anything popping up breaking today. While we're waiting, this is the big one. We talked about that this morning. This pissed me off, and I'm happy. I'm leaving Illinois. Yes, if you guys haven't heard already, Illinois, it's already gone. I'm sure it'll be all over here still. The state of Illinois is going to be, of course, adding a crypto tax to all digital assets. It's 0.2%. So it's going to be 0.2, almost 0.25%. For anyone transacting, moving, trading any crypto assets in the state of Illinois. Wow, I cannot find it anymore. There we go. Governor Pritzker signs a new 0.2% digital asset privilege tax that will be applying to exchanges, transfers, custody, and storage beginning January 1st of next year. Wouldn't be surprised if this pushes users, brokers, and crypto innovation out of state, and also I would not be surprised either if we start to get more lobbyists on both sides to also come to the table with the likes of Clarity and everything else we need for this asset class in America. So yeah, I'm going to repost that on my Twitter page. We're not going to miss that again. All right, let's scroll back up and get back into what's the thick of it today. Genius Act being interviewed and mentioned maybe this morning by Senator Bill Haggerty. Stablecoin innovation Clarity will be the broader digital asset market. Clarity will provide the clear rules for the road needed to ensure that digital assets innovation flourishes in America. Again, if you guys are just joining or waiting for Kevin Warsh to come on out, the podium is empty. It is empty. I'll keep it on the side of the screen so we don't miss a beat. Right there. Yeah, that'll work. Right there in the corner there. Okay. All right, scream at me if you see him there. I don't want to miss it. Okay. What else we got? Doom scrolling. Just in, Mexican billionaire Ricardo Solanas says that Bitcoin is better investment than real estate, predicting that it'll eventually reach $1 million. He holds 70% of his estimated $5 billion in Bitcoin. That's insane. That is crazy. I mean, I'm a 60 percenter. 60% of my net worth is in Bitcoin. 70% of his entire estimated $5 billion net worth is in Bitcoin. I gotta up the ante. I think I'm at 65 right now. I gotta up the ante. I don't have that kind of capital either. That's crazy. Most millionaires, of course, will never get to a single Bitcoin. And if they did, I mean, realistically, only $100,000, maybe $200,000 would be the estimate net worth of what's invested total. All right, Trump and Iran. 70%, that's crazy, man. That's like $3 or $4 billion wrapped in Bitcoin alone. I don't know if I believe that. That's insane. I want to know how much. I want to know more. Okay, enough. Trump on Iran, that they raised the white flag to surrender and said, "Praise be to Allah." Donald Trump said the greatest president ever. And NYT and CNN would say, "Iran had a great victory." Surely they would. Okay. All right. Illinois, of course, passed the tax, so we covered that today many times. Very insane. They're doing that. Let me put this away before I spill it. New Josh Mandel says Stretch trading at $91. The market is effectively telling strategy it wants a 12.5% dividend yield. Yeah, he's going to have to start competing even further now, because we just got the likes of Bitmine, of course, doing the same thing, and now, we also have the Bitcoin ETF, with yield. BlackRock's premium Bitcoin ETF launched on Monday. Man, there's a lot of competition already starting to fight for yield with Bitcoin and crypto assets. Congress bans creation of CBDC at least until 2030. The U.S. House and Senate have released the final bipartisan bill to ban the Fed using a CBDC, and with a passing vote of 89-10, a major win for the case that open private money rails should stay open. Again, that was a talking point that originally was part of Clarity. Originally, it was the market structure bill, but now we know it's Clarity. So they might be getting a little closer than we think, but we still don't have any scheduled time dedicated to Clarity yet this month. And the month's already half over. It's the 17th. The 17th. All right, we're still waiting for Kevin Warsh. It is now 2:15. We have 15 minutes. 15 minutes. We might be testing the mics right now.
That's exactly right. Thank you.
What the hell? Okay. Someone just went up there and had some fun with the microphone. Okay. What else we got in the chat here? Hal sucks. Yeah. How many times have I heard that over the years? He's fine. Fed chair, maybe one question, not one question, and a follow-up. You don't think they're going to get many questions on today's meeting? I think they'll have plenty of questions. It's the first meeting, right? Fat Sonic, because I'm not sure. Who's the worst governor? Carroll, Pritzker, or Newsom? Ooh. Yeah, those are some pretty big names there. Probably Newsom. Yeah, probably. I mean, he's definitely probably the most hated in the States, and probably outside as well. All right. You could probably add... I don't hate him, but I know a lot of people do. What the hell is his name? DeSantis. There's a lot of people in Florida that don't like DeSantis, believe it or not. I don't know why, even though he's trying to push for some crazy laws I personally like no taxes on home or on housing. Yeah. Property taxes. Yeah, that's probably a big one. Anyway, and also obviously he's pro crypto and Bitcoin. All right, so yeah, we're still waiting for that, guys. Bitcoin's sitting at 65,300 now. Again, this is the last structured area of support Bitcoin has, holding 65 right now today, and we're doing okay. If we zoom out and just kind of take a look at the overall, market since the first bounce, and I'm of course building this new level here with you. Hopefully we do see this start to come into support right around 65. If we do lose it today, we're going to be, of course, taking the next 2 weeks into another structured level of support building. Again, 61 it has to hold at that point if we do go back to testing the waters there. So it really is dependent on the war in Iran, Kevin Warsh's first day, and what's the other big one? Oh yeah, the prices of oil, which already came down. If you guys haven't seen this morning, if you've been sleeping all day, oil fell to a low of 79 on Brent, and even lower, 76, I believe, WTI crude. I'm not sure where it is right now. We should probably take a look. Let's see, WTI crude, oil chart. And then I gotta probably ask you guys one more time about the bingo card. If there's anything you want me to add to the bingo card, please let me know. Just type in bingo, add such and such and such. Make sure we have it on the card for you. All right, crude for futures, whatever, that's fine. 76, yep, still holding 76 after the dump today. All right, so this is what I got on the card so far, guys. Data dependent, which was a thing that Powell always said. We're data dependent. Of course, we're bipartisan, or we're, we have a dual mandate. There's, of course, we're the typical Fed speak for the meetings. I'm sure he's going to mention the Fed balance sheet because that's kind of his card right now. He's going to be rebalancing the Fed balance sheet. I doubt he's going to say anything about stablecoins, digital assets, maybe. He is a pro-crypto president. He'll be a pro-crypto governor. He's going to be the first pro-Bitcoin chair. Iran war, housing, of course, these are going to be pretty much nothing burgers. I doubt he's going to say Trump. Powell never said Trump, but maybe he'll say Trump because he got him in that chair. Seat. Oil, economy, soon. We always put soon there for fun. Right? Roll call. Joyce is here, guys. Happy, joy.
I don't think you're happy enough. I'll teach you.
Nobody's ever happy enough.
I'll teach your grandmother to suck eggs. I told you I'd shoot, but you didn't believe me. Why didn't you believe me? Happy, joy.
They never believe me.
Happy, joy.
Yes, 4 live streams today, guys. We're going to be doing 4 live streams today, and I am drooling. This is a really good drink. Thanks again to, Cliff in the chat for his Tito's super chat. Thank you so much, Cliff, right out the gate. And we got on the show tonight. But if you guys want to support the channel, you can also just hang out with us after this live, next live, the other lives. It's okay, we don't normally do that after this one. But of course, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights, we do, of course, hang out after the live stream. It's only $15 a month to, of course, hang out with the Chaos crew on the other side. And we do that every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, for only $15 a month. Of course, we are a bustling, and busy, and building crypto community. So if you want to, join us while we grow, we are here. We are here for you. And of course, I'm taking the show on the road. I'm going to Florida and moving to Thailand by the end of the year. We're going to be, of course, exploring. South Asia soon, hopefully really soon. I don't want to be stuck in this damn country for another year.
When will then be now? Soon.
I definitely don't want to get stuck in Illinois for another year because, again, the crypto tax, man, I don't want anything to do with that. Nothing to do with that. All right. Let me see where we are with Marsh is still not available. We saw about 10 more minutes, guys. Let me know if there's anything you want to add to the card. Right, so Happy Joy going again is here. Fat Sonic says, DeSantis is awesome. People just didn't like his 2024 presidential run. So, as long as I've been a Floridian, or a previous Floridian, or a current, I guess, going to be again Floridian, crazy Florida man returns to Florida, DeSantis has always been hated by all my friends and family. I don't know why. I really don't know why. They don't follow politics. Maybe they just don't like him because of the way he speaks. I don't know. The normies, of course, are a mystery to me. My God. Maybe they just don't like him because he's Republican and all my friends are mostly Democrat. I don't know. I'm neither Republican or Democrat. You don't have to worry about me being one or the other. Maybe he'll say Powell. He might say Powell. He might say, filling in for Powell. You got a good one there. Maybe we'll swap that. Joyce and Cliff. Let me know if you got anything for me, Joyce. What color tie do you think he's gonna wear? Because Powell always wore a purple tie. It got so predictable. Obviously, we put it in the middle of the board before. There's gonna be something fun we can put there later. For Trump, I always put Trump, him saying his own name in the middle of the bingo card. That's always fun too. Hopefully, we have another one of those coming up as well. Probably on Friday when he signs that bill or that treaty or whatever we're gonna call it. Still waiting for Warsh, guys. 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes, about 8 minutes. Calling your friends and family's normies are hilarious. They're trying. Some of them. Not really, no. I have one friend who bought about $5,000 or $6,000 worth of Bitcoin, just shy of a tenth of a Bitcoin at one point. I think it was like 60K or 65K when he bought like 6,000 worth. And I've been trying to for years to get him to just finish up a 10% of a Bitcoin. He won't even do that. It means he's not allocating at all to crypto for the last 3 years or whatever. What else? What else I got? I have a father who now has a single Bitcoin, which is beautiful, but he doesn't allocate any more to that. And I still consider him a normie because he's not sure exactly what's going on in our space or any other, or political or anything like that. I really don't have any friends, guys, or family that follow crypto in any capacity. My father is the only one with a gold star right now. It's kind of sad, but I think he did that just because of it's kind of a my family business doing what I do here. Did you guys ever note that the way Powell pronounced the word lived like past tense, lived? What? Live like live? I don't know if I ever noticed that. Lo says, when did he buy a full Bitcoin? When we fell down around February, he finished the full Bitcoin. So that was a big deal, man. That was a big deal. That's another reason why I'm very convinced that we're sitting around the bottom, guys. The bottom is like pretty much right here. Yeah. So I'd say his average is a little higher because he was continuously buying little bits at a time. Between the last 2 years, but he finished up a huge buy around 62, 61, 63, something like that. All right. Anyway, good riddance to Powell. Yes, good riddance to Powell. 100%. My average Bitcoin buy, guys, is 21,000. Believe it or not, which is hilarious. Yeah, because it falls into the ethos. We're still waiting for Warsh to come out in the corner of my screen here. We'll have him in a bit. Anyway, good riddance to Powell. I don't know. I'm gonna miss him. He was just another part of the meme, right? He was part of the entire ritual, right? We get on here, we get out the bingo card. It's Papa Powell. He's gonna tell you like it is. He's gonna get the money printer going. It's just not the same without Papa Powell and the money printer. Like, we're gonna get Kevin Warsh out here with the money printer, but Papa Powell is legendary, right? Papa Powell. I can't stop saying Papa Powell. Money printer, right? There's no one who completes this meme but him. Nobody. Maybe they'll just like cut his head off and they'll put Kevin Warsh's head on him, and we'll be sharing the same meme around. I guess. Jeez, guys. What else? Bitcoin's still holding 65. It's barely right around that 65.3, barely. Let's get back to the order books real quick. Where is my thing? There we go. Let's see what else we got. Bloomberg still doesn't, of course, have any eyes on the podium just yet either. Make sure I got that. Yeah, just in case. And then, for you guys who are just joining, I have been popping back and forth between all the sentiment and just kind of finding something to talk about before Kevin Warsh comes out. I do want to mention that as of this morning, it was looking kind of bearish. I think that's how we started this morning, kind of down here, right? But as the morning has been kind of moving into the evening hours, or the afternoon, we're starting to move up a little bit, right? We're still going to look up a little bit, moving up a little bit on these overall time frames. So it is possible that the foreign market, we could be bunting a pretty cool beach ball their way that they might want to hit a little higher for us in the morning market open. That's going to be, of course, 8 p.m. We are going to be, of course, having another live stream then. That'll be our third live stream, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'll be streaming that from another bunker in another location to avoid these possible tornadoes this evening in my area. Midwest, man, we just keep getting slammed with tornadoes. Slammed. There's like tornado watchers all over the place now between, what is it? I don't even know the one next to me. Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. And I know at least that, maybe even as high as Michigan. Fat Sonny says, I feel like 62K is not unreasonable, but maybe Warsh gets markets short-term bullish. Maybe. Some experts have said are saying that, or analysts are saying that he's going to be coming out hot and heavy with a hawkish attitude to kind of just not go in there. It's like prison, right? He doesn't want to be anyone's bitch. So he's going to go in there with a very strong attitude, very very hawkish. Is what a lot of people are believing he's going to do. He also wants to kind of keep the chatter to a minimum. I remember with some of his previous interviews, he was like, we want to change things a little bit. And one of the things he wanted to change was kind of have less meetings overall. And I guess less rhetoric on what they're doing in the background. So that's another thing that we could expect to see as well. Maybe questions stop early, or maybe he's just like, no questions this time. Just leave. That's possible too. Again, guys, I'll add anything you want me on the board, on the bingo card. Just let me know. What was the one thing? Yeah, Pal. We were going to add Pal on there. It says Cliff. He wanted to see if he actually says Pal's name in response to replacing him. What can we get out of here? Probably get rid of dual mandate. I don't know if he's going to say it. Bipartisan. Let's get rid of that. Kind of the same thing anyway. Replace that with Pal's name. Pal. Papa Pal. Even get him to say the previous chair's name. Alright. Anything else in the chat? I think that's all you got. You guys are giving to me, man. That's it. Very, very unlikely he's going to say Bitcoin. Of course, anything related to crypto, I just have it on the edges for fun. But he's a new Fed chair, maybe. He'll get questioned about it. Maybe he'll get a question. Typically, what Powell would do, Powell was very, very, very. He was an expert of Fed speak. Like he was always, if he was asked a question, he would never say the intended word of what the question was asked back. He was really good at that. He was asked a few times about gold. He never said the word gold back. So it got to the point where I was just like, people ask him about gold, I would just mark it off because he's not going to actually say it. He doesn't want the sound bites. Yeah, they were very good. Or he was very good about avoiding sound bites. So, all right, yes, Robbie Scott bopping in. Yes, how's it going, Robbie? Yes, we're here for the FOMC. This will be the second live stream today. The third one, of course, 8 p.m. and the fourth one, only a Patreon exclusive at 9:30. It's Papa Pow, man. Well, no, it's not. Damn it, it's Papa Pow Day. It's going to take me forever to break that habit. It is Kevin Warsh Day. It may be the worst day for crypto. You never know. Bitcoin's volatile, man. 65.3 back to 65.3. We started the live stream at 66,000. We just ran it back to 66,000 right at 2 p.m. And we're back down at 65.3. All right. Soundbite's true. Yep. They want to. Fed always wants to avoid. There we go, guys. We got him. Locking on in. Here we go.
Consequence. I've been especially heartened by the warm welcome of old friends and new colleagues both. And I've listened closely to my fellow FOMC members. Heard a lot of new ideas, new thinking, and genuine interest in moving the Fed forward. This week's FOMC meeting exemplified the very best of the Fed's traditions. Rigorous debate, open-mindedness, commitment to mission, responsibility, and accountability for performance. In this business, they all add up to one thing: getting monetary policy right, or as near to it as we can do. That is our North Star. My colleagues and I are here to serve our legislative remit, which you've heard us say before: price stability and maximum employment. And these objectives guided our business in the meeting just concluded. As you saw a few moments ago, the committee decided to maintain the target range for the Fed funds rate at 3.5% to 3.75% in support of the Fed's dual mandate. The committee also reaffirmed its policy of maintaining ample reserves in the banking system. Economic activity is expanding at a solid pace, despite elevated uncertainty that owes in part to the conflict in the Middle East. Productivity growth and capital investment both strong. Job gains have kept pace with the workforce, and the unemployment rate has changed little. We recognize that inflation has been running well ahead of the Fed's long-stated inflation goal of 2%. That's been going on for more than 5 years. Persistently high prices are a burden for the American people. But the recent past need not be prologue. I am pleased to report that members of the FOMC are unambiguous and unanimous. This committee will deliver price stability. At any institution, a change in leadership is a natural and timely opportunity to reaffirm its mission, to review current practices, and to consider whether those practices best meet our objectives. My Fed colleagues and I will be working in close collaboration to ask what changes might improve the conduct of monetary policy. On that score, you might have already noticed something, a difference in today's policy statement. It's a bit shorter, a bit simpler, and it dispenses with some older language. That statement just gives you the facts as best we can judge it. Absent also is so-called forward guidance, which we agreed was not well suited to the current policy conjuncture. This afternoon, you also received the usual summary of economic projections. It's been the practice of this committee for participants to submit these projections, and I have encouraged my colleagues to continue to do so. I, however, have refrained from offering any projections of my own, consistent with my long-held views on the SEP, at least as currently structured. In the median projections, real GDP rises at 2.2% this year, 2.3% next year, and total PC inflation runs at 3.6% this year, 2.3% next year. The unemployment rate stands at about 4.3%. The median participant judges that the appropriate federal funds rate to be at 3.8% at the end of this year and 3.6% at the end of next. Let me turn now to a few words on a key initiative that we're announcing today. I'm appointing a task force in each of 5 areas that are central to the broad conduct of monetary policy. First, Fed communications. Second, the Fed's balance sheet. Third, our use and reliance on existing data sources. Fourth, productivity and jobs in an era of transformation. And last, the Fed's inflation frameworks. These subjects are timely, consequential, and in my view, worthy of a fresh look. My colleagues and I discussed them with energy and purpose over the last couple of days. For each of these independent task forces, I'm enlisting some of the very best minds, both inside and outside the economics profession. They will be supported by subject matter specialists from our superb Fed staff. And they'll have a straightforward charge. Start with first principles. Ask hard questions. Examine current practice. Consider alternatives. And ultimately propose next steps for policymaker consideration. Since last summer, my colleagues discussed possible improvements in the form and function of Fed communications. This new task force will build on that effort, and I expect propose some well-considered changes, including to the SEP I mentioned a few moments ago. The second task force, the one on balance sheet policy, will review the benefits and risks of the current ample reserves regime and the composition of the Fed's balance sheet. They will assess alternative frameworks for the conduct and operation of monetary policy. The third task force, the one on data, will evaluate new information sources and consider methodological changes to improve data gathering, with the aim of giving policymakers more accurate, relevant, contemporaneous, and perhaps most important, actionable information on the state of our economy. Fourth, the Task Force on Productivity and Jobs. It'll survey the pace, the reach, the economic impact of new general-purpose technologies, including AI, and explore the implications for the Fed in pursuit of our employment and inflation mandates. The last task force, the one on inflation frameworks, that'll examine the drivers of inflation, first principles, and weigh the full range of ideas for delivering price stability in a changing economy.
Are they going to do that
You'll
soon,
hear
Marsh?
quite a bit more about these task forces and this overall initiative in the coming weeks. Enough for now to make a simple statement. Each task force will serve an objective shared by everyone in the system, shared by everyone around that table that I sat with over the last couple of days. A Federal Reserve that is clear-eyed about its mission, fit for purpose, and focused on the future. And with that, I appreciate your attention. I'm happy to take your questions.
Hi, Chairman Howard Schneider with Reuters. Good to see you again, and welcome back. This is a lot to be putting in motion so fast. What is the timeline you have in mind for each of these?
So I think it'll depend on the task force. It also depends on the urgency in which we need clear answers. My expectation, I'm still in the business of recruiting and finalizing them. My expectation is the task forces will begin work in the next couple of weeks, and we'll start to get some more information from them, some more framing of how they see things starting in the fall end, hopefully most, if not all of them, concluding by year end.
And just specifically on the inflation framework, you talk about first principles. Does this include a review of the 2% target itself? You've mentioned that things to the right of the decimal point don't matter. Should this be starting from a premise that 2% as a point estimate is too strict?
Let me break that into two pieces. First,
Good
the
question.
inflation framework review. Their remit is, what are the drivers of inflation? What's the Fed's responsibility for inflation? In part, how do we measure inflation? But that'll overlap with my data group. On the 2% inflation objective, that is the Federal Reserve's long-held objective of 2%. You've heard me say before,
Pretty hawkish,
focus
guys.
on the left of the decimal point. Well, the 2 is the left of the decimal point. For now, 0 is to the right. I see no reason until we have reestablished our commitment and ability to deliver on the 2% inflation objective to revisit that. So that'll be outside the scope of what we're taking on.
Colby.
Thank you so much. Colby Swift from the New York Times. You've in the past said that inflation is a choice, and in the policy statement, it includes this pledge to deliver price stability, as you've reiterated today. But looking at the SEP, the bulk of your colleagues expect core PCE to run around 3.3% by year end, and for the 2% inflation target not to be reached until 2028. So I'm curious how patient you think the Fed can afford to be at this juncture in terms of waiting for one-time inflation waves to wash through and for underlying inflation to step down after so many years of inflation running above target, and under what circumstances you would support the Fed taking some action and raising rates.
Sure. So quite a bit there. Let me try to break that into pieces. First, we have the capability and commitment to deliver on our price stability objective of 2%. That's exactly what we're going to do. In the Fed's review of its strategy over the last any number of years, in January, the Fed, including the strategy that we're still bound by, the Fed statement says that inflation is primarily determined by monetary policy. You bet it is. I've said for years inflation is a choice. You bet it is. And today I'm announcing that this committee unambiguously and unanimously have decided we are going to deliver on that. The rest of your questions sounded like an encouragement for me to give forward guidance. We've dropped forward guidance. Some along the committee, I think, dropped it, I suspect, from our discussion the last couple of days, because they said at this moment in time, it doesn't feel as though providing forward guidance is right. Others have, I'd say, different views and think as a general proposition, forward guidance isn't the business we should be in. But that'll be taken up by the Task Force on Communications and my policymaker colleagues. We're going to listen hard to what the experts say and make our own decision. But I can't give any forward guidance about what we're going to do next. The good news is we'll be meeting in 6 weeks.
So just following up, I guess, on the policy settings, then, I am curious how restrictive you think things are at the current moment, given the flow of data that we've seen and, forecasts that are coming down the pipeline.
Yeah. I've heard characterizations both inside and the Fed about that. I'll give you my own. It's uneven. If I look at the housing markets as one example, Fed policy isn't the single determinant of the state of the housing market, but broadly I would say Fed policy appears to be somewhat restrictive. I would have a hard time managing to say those words if I were to see what's happening in financial markets. So I'd say it's uneven. That's perhaps a function of different transmission mechanisms of monetary policy, whether monetary policy is coming from our interest rate tool or our balance sheet tool. But the good news, we have a task force on that too, and the balance sheet task force will be looking more at that subject.
You said you don't like forward guidance. You dropped it from the statement this time. But with the dot plot, 9 members suggested that they want a rate increase by the end of the year, and the markets have taken that as forward guidance. So what does this mean in terms of how you guide the markets and in terms of what the dot plot's future is?
I'm going to have to give you the same answer I gave to Ms. Smith. We've got a task force for that. I'll give you a little bit more. I reviewed the dot plots, and when I saw the submissions, I noted that all the submissions were coming in with pencils, those kind with the big erasers. That's to say that I think my colleagues around the table, when they submitted their dots, understand the world is changing quite quickly. And they didn't feel bound by them 6 weeks from now or 6 days from now in the event that their circumstances change. I'll note a couple other things. What I heard around the table was, as they submitted their modal forecasts, to be clear, weren't this was more likely than not. This was more likely than their other scenarios. So I didn't hear tons of conviction. What I heard was the kind of humility that I think we should have. I did not submit a dot. For me, it's not helpful in the conduct of policy. I suspect by year end, as I mentioned in my opening statements, there'll be a review about communications broadly, press conferences, dots, meetings and the like, transcripts, minutes. This will be part of that. I don't want to prejudge the outcomes there, but I'm pretty open-minded about what they could be. And I was just incredibly impressed over the last couple of days. My colleagues over the last 2 days, and frankly over the first 3 weeks I've been here, they've been very open about changes. Change isn't easy, change is filled with risk, but our number one goal is to get monetary policy right. The way to get monetary policy right is to deliver on the remit that Congress gave us, to deliver on price stability, and there was no disagreement on any of those points.
At the risk of possibly getting the same answer about task forces, communications, what is your feeling about these news conferences? Are you going to continue one after every meeting? Do you think
That's
find
a
them
good
useful?
question, because he was talking about cutting it.
The way Kevin Warsh will communicate.
Well, this one's probably got another 15 or 20 minutes in it, so I don't want to prejudge the outcome. Press conferences can be a very useful way to communicate with households, businesses, and more broadly through using the likes of you. I had a great old mentor named George Schultz, and his mantra was press conferences are useful, but when you have one, you want to make sure you have something important to say. Today, I think we had something important to say about our commitment to deliver on price stability, our commitment to rethink practices with an eye of
we may not be doing too many of these guys anymore.
And to give you and the American people a sense that these aren't idle thoughts, these are concrete thoughts, that we're going to seek out the best minds, both the best thinking inside of the Federal Reserve and the best people I know in business and economics and the academy and technology and the rest, to share their views. That's what we're going to be doing here, the pursuit of truth. I think we're going to come up with some new and interesting things. We made some changes today. I expect more changes to come, and some of those might well be worthy of a press conference.
Hi, Chris Rugaber at Associated Press. Thanks for taking our questions. Could you give us a sense of how you see inflation more in the long term? I know you may not want to comment on the ups and downs, but is this mainly driven by energy prices in the Iran war at this point, or do you have any concerns about underlying inflation pressures?
I mean, does that count as bingo?
Thank you.
So I can't do much better than the committee just did, so let me restate it. Inflation remains elevated relative to the committee's 2% goal, in part reflecting supply shocks that have driven price increases in certain sectors, including energy. The paragraph goes on to say, but to be clear, the Fed will deliver price stability. My own judgment is the committee spent quite a bit of time, not just in 2 days, but over iterations of a couple of weeks. That's what we're prepared to say about inflation, but the commitment to deliver is strong, unanimous, and unambiguous. And that's, I think, an important message. We've missed for 5 years, and we're going to fix that.
Well, great. And then just on the data task force and everything else, I mean, generally speaking, I think people feel the Fed looks at everything already. Certainly that was the sense from before. Is there data that you feel is not given enough weight? I mean, you mentioned the trim to mean in the past, but again, that's well known to certainly most Fed members. So what is that task force looking at, and what might be I mean, I know you don't want to prejudge the outcome, but are there examples of data that you expect might be given more weight? Thank you.
So you're answering my question. So let me say I don't want to prejudge the outcome. I also don't want to say too much about what they're going to do because I still have a phone call or two to make before I've nailed down the people that are doing that. I'm interested in what the outside experts' view is on the subject. I'll say this generally. Most of the data that central bankers and other government officials in the United States consume come with old-fashioned survey methods, a national accounts of what the U.S. economy looks like that looks very little like the U.S. economy in 2026. Survey methods that don't have response rates that we need, asking questions that might have been quite applicable a generation ago that are less applicable now. So even inside of official statistics, I would be open-minded if the task force and our own best thinking had recommendations how those official statistics can be brought up to a standard of our time using new analytic methods. I'd also say this. Almost every private company CEO that's running his or her business are doing so with real-time information that isn't subject to much revision. That is telling them what just happened at that very moment. As you know, there are normal, long and variable lags in the conduct of monetary policy. What we're really interested in is what's happening right now. What we're less interested in is echoes of history. And you're hearing from my answer that some of the data that we receive, that we're waiting on, the first Friday after the month, the payroll index or something else, that might be an echo of history that's quite useful on its third revision. We need to take those error bounds down because we have to make hard decisions in real time. I'm really open-minded that there is a lot of new data sources that we can learn from the private sector, from reforms in the official sector, and new analytic techniques that are far more refined than asking a simple question about whether something was core or non-core.
Thanks. Welcome, Mr. Chairman. Edward Lawrence with Fox Business. So if you don't give a lot of ongoing forward guidance, won't the markets have more volatility, and shouldn't Americans have more access into what you're thinking going forward?
So I think financial markets perform best.
They're going to do whatever they're going to do, whatever they want.
I think the financial markets work less efficiently when they ask a question, how will the Federal Reserve react to that incoming information? The more that markets are paying attention to what's happening in the real economy, deciding what's good data and what's less good data, the more financial markets can price what they believe is the most likely and what are the tail risks. Financial market prices are probably the most important source of information to guide central bankers. But when all the financial markets are doing is reflecting back what we've said, then we're taking the most important source of information and we're being blind to it. I'd like us to create a system where those blinders come off, where markets are following data that they efficiently think is reliable, and they'll be watching data, we'll be watching data. They'll come with better information through market prices to us. We can make more informed decisions with ultimately the goal that I said at the outset, deliver on the price stability objective that Congress told us to do and that we've got to get in the business of doing.
Yeah, if I could take you in the meeting a little bit. This is your first meeting. The board members seem fairly hawkish when you listen to, in general, when you listen to what they're saying. Was there any discussion of a rate cut going forward today?
There was one proposal on the table. There was no discussion of any other proposals. The discussion on that proposal, I would say, was quite limited. The group was unanimous and unambiguous on it. It has been the practice of this central bank and others to have a range of alternatives. Today we had one. I thought it furthered discussion, deepened it, and made it clear what we needed to do and how we needed to deliver. I wouldn't prejudge what happens in the future, but there was only one big subject for us. We took it on. We had a good family fight on it for a couple of days, and we ended up, I think, in a better place.
Thanks a lot, Claire Jones, Financial Times. Coming to this blind, reading this very nice short statement that I think we've all appreciated in the room, one might wonder why you didn't raise rates today, considering what you're saying here about the risks to U.S. inflation and your mandate. I guess, why not, and what would you need to see in order to get to that place? And secondly, on your task forces, are there any best practices at other central banks that you'd consider looking at? Thank you.
I'm glad they're in the practice of giving you two questions, because my answer to your first question was going to be very curt. I've got nothing more to say than the statement itself. And to the point of the question I got before, market reactions to what we say unfiltered, I think is more helpful than having delivered a statement, me then improvising further upon it. Best practices of task forces. This is a subject I've thought some about. I've been on a task force or two in my life. Best practice, find the best minds. Ensure that the task forces have a range of people, both by backgrounds and predispositions, so they too can have a bit of a family fight. Make sure when you establish a task force that the group that's going to be the recipient of the information feels as though they've got some equities in it too. That's why we're looking for, haven't done the final roll call, some of the most significant talent we have in the building and across the reserve banks on each of these, and in some sense seconding them to this group for a period of some number of months, so that the leaders of the task force know what the most analytical central bank in the world thinks about that. They can reflect on it. And a final best practice, we're not outsourcing decisions to anybody. Administrations past and present, reserve banks have chosen a group of 19 people around the table. These will be our decisions. We can agree to some of the recommendations, disagree with others, have a good family fight about it. But what comes from them will, I hope and believe, make the discussion we have internally better, stronger, more of a dialectic, so that we can finally deliver on that price stability objective.
Just a quick follow-up on your markets point. If you look at 2-year yields, they're really suggesting that markets think more tightening is needed. Would that be your read on what the 2-year yield is saying as well?
We were in such a good place. This is why we don't do third questions, I presume. I'm not going to offer any commentary on market reaction over the last 30 or 60 minutes. What we've given markets is a new chapter for the central bank, some fresh thinking. What we've given markets and households and businesses, I think, is a commitment to ask ourselves hard questions such that we can deliver on the promises that we've made before. This is a lot of change for financial markets to digest. I wouldn't be particularly intrigued by how they react in the first several minutes or even first several days. What I think is most important is that financial markets, and at least as important, households and businesses know that this central bank will deliver on price stability.
Hi there, Chairman Warsh. Brian Chung with NBC News. Thank you for taking our questions. So when you say that we've dropped forward guidance for the layperson, that might sound like the Fed's going to say less or offer less insight into where their borrowing costs might go. So for the person that maybe you might run into at the grocery store, where the price tags are rising at a faster pace than their wages at the moment, how would you explain it to them? I don't know if task force might be the answer there, but how would you kind of communicate this era, this chapter of the Fed?
If I told somebody in the milk aisle that I had a task force for that, I think that would be doing a very poor job, so I appreciate it.
What the
if I saw
hell?
somebody in the grocery store, what I would say to them is that we cannot have a very significant effect on particular prices. The price of oil in the markets today, or even the price of a dozen eggs, that does not have first-order consequences to what we're doing. But we do have a really important job there, and it's to make sure that those changes in oil or beef or eggs or milk don't broaden in the economy, don't have second and third order effects. That's our job, that's our commitment, that's our capability, and we're going to deliver on it.
And then is the Fed's relationship with the Treasury also under review? There was the normal breakfast meetings with the Treasury Secretary. Is that something you intend to continue doing? And have you had conversations with the President since you're swearing in?
So on the President, I don't have anything for you. With respect to the Treasury Secretary, he has been posting pictures of our breakfast, so I don't think I can deny that. The long tradition at the central bank is that the Fed Chairman and the Treasury Secretary meet weekly. I think we've pulled off 3 of those so far. I believe he's overseas this week, so this will be the exception to the rule. I think they're very useful discussions. The central bank's objectives and our roles and responsibilities are quite delineated from the fiscal authorities. And in my view, monetary policy is independent in the conduct of what we do. But that doesn't mean we're not interested in what's happening with the fiscal authorities. The way I think about it is this central bank needs to have a wide lens, but a narrow remit. We need to be quite interested in what's happening in the world. I won't be breaking any news here to suggest I'm quite interested in what's happening in the Middle East. That does have some effect on our day job. It doesn't mean it's our responsibility, but I think we're going to keep a wide lens, and my meetings with Secretary Besson to this point have helped widen that aperture. So we're aware of things that could affect our day job, even if it isn't.
Thank God he's meeting with Besson. It's such a
CNBC, Mr. Chair.
quiet
Question.
between the previous Fed chair.
You had said in the before you became chairman that you thought productivity was a reason why the Federal Reserve could lower interest rates. Do you still believe that to be the case?
So the committee had a discussion of productivity today. AI came up. The way I thought about it before and socialized with the group is that artificial intelligence, the latest generation of general purpose technology, is perhaps as important a change in the economy and business and households that we've had in my adult lifetime. It is filled with both a huge opportunity and with risks. I take both of those very seriously. You may have heard me say before that AI is shorthand perhaps for American ingenuity. That doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. That certainly doesn't mean it's not going to be disruptive. But over the long term, my conviction, and I heard quite a bit of support for this around the committee today, is the United States is a winner as we go down this. The United States is ultimately going to be better off in that. Now, to bring that back to the conduct of policy, timing, scale, speed, implications for output and employment, it's one of the things we have a task force to do.
If you don't mind, a follow-up from the other side, which is that when you look at the strong job growth that's out there, the elevated inflation, GDP seems to be going pretty good, and the stock market seems to be soaring. Do you look around this economy and see the funds rate being restrictive?
So that's your second question. I'm going to give the same answer that I gave before. I'd say as I think about the conduct of policy, what matters is what's the effect of policy. Not what do we say, but what happens. And the best way I can describe it is it's uneven. I do see some restrictiveness in things like housing. It's hard to use those same words anywhere else. I'll just make one other point. You talked about one of our dual mandates on the employment side. I don't believe that we have a cruel choice. I don't share the view that was expressed a few generations ago that Federal Reserve chairmen show up at a podium like this and say, you got to choose. And you're going to have to decide whether you're willing to tolerate higher inflation to put more people at work. I don't believe in that. What I believe is if we do our job, we can make strong growth, low prices, and strong employment mutually compatible. And so what you heard from the committee today is we've got some work to do on the price stability front.
Nick.
Thank you. Nick Timmeros with Wall Street Journal. Chairman Warsh, you've said repeatedly credibility is earned by delivering. If credibility requires delivering, the move would be to tighten or at least to threaten to. Now, you didn't do that today. Why not?
That judgment you expressed was not expressed by any of the 19 people around the table. We'll be meeting in 6 weeks. We'll take up the issue again.
And if I could ask about AI, the build-out is generating enormous demand right now, CapEx, data centers, power. The productivity payoff may be further out. So in your judgment today, is AI adding more to demand or to supply?
It's a good question. At the central bank in an economics profession, what we spend most of our time doing is counting demand. It's easier. We can see it, we can count it, we can check it, we can revise it. What we do, though, is we infer supply. You'll notice in the second paragraph of what one of your colleagues described as a very short statement, we have a sentence on the demand side and a sentence about the same length on the supply side. They're both important. Just because we can count one better than the other doesn't mean we're going to favor one more than the other. With respect to AI and the growth of data centers and infrastructure around it, we're counting the demand side, and it is no doubt showing up in GDP figures. We can be less certain when we infer the timing and extent of the growth in the supply side. It may well be an intuition the supply side is going to expand, but it'll take longer. I just describe it this way. There's a race between supply and demand. Milton Friedman says that the only thing we know about economics is that there's a supply line and a demand line they ultimately cross. When they cross and what are the implications for policy? The good news for you is we have a task force for that.
Andrew.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. It sounded like on the task force on data that you were looking at overhauling or completely overhauling the system of national accounts, the way the government mines the economy. Is that your ambition?
In a word, no. In a few words, much of this data gathering happens in other government agencies to which we owe a tremendous amount of respect, tremendous amount of deference. But if in the course of this we come up with recommendations, which Fed staff have already begun to develop, about things that they could be doing to help inform us as policymakers, we're not going to hesitate. Again, I don't want to try to delineate the four corners of the research of the task force on data, but I do think there will be a review of official statistics, and at least as important, a view of bringing the best practices from the private sector and new analytical tools made possible by AI so we can forge these into a fabric that gives us better real-time information. So as I mentioned before, when we're making decisions that we'd say are real contemporaneous data, not data that we call contemporaneous, that's really an echo of history.
Okay, thanks. The other question I wanted to ask is related to the building renovations. Are you considering any changes to the renovations, the projects, just in light of the fact that they became kind of a political football in the last year?
Something about that. I don't think I'm breaking any news, but my view, when you show up at a new institution, you should go meet with the Inspector General, just as a matter of good practice. It's a practice that I hope to continue. I've had one meeting with the Inspector General, and he told me what I believe the world knows, which he'll be coming out with a report on the building and the building projects at some point later this summer. I'll be interested in reading the report. From my perspective, with a forward-looking glance, is there anything that we can be doing or should be doing from this moment until the completion of the project to do what we can to be good stewards of taxpayer money and make sure that we're delivering on the promises that we made? Some more work to do. You might not be surprised in the first few weeks. I've been somewhat preoccupied on other matters, but I promised to get to the full breadth of the Fed's tasks in the weeks ahead.
Victoria.
Hi, Victoria Guida with Politico. So I know that you did not submit a forecast, but you are the person who is authorized to speak on behalf of the FOMC. So I'm wondering if you could tell us in the SEP the increase in the expectations for inflation. Is that all because of the Iran war? What was the discussion around what the expectations for inflation being higher and also potentially growth being slower?
So my read of what I heard in the room reflected, I must admit, in the SEPs, is half of my colleagues thought the policy rate, given all those developments, should be at this level or lower between now and year end, and the other half thought higher. That 19th voter was me, and I didn't submit one. There's a range of views on the questions of first and second round effects, no resolution or conviction, but we'll be meeting again in 6 weeks. I think we're going to know more then, and I think that my colleagues are very attentive to incoming developments between now and then.
And can I just quick follow-up on the SEP? You said that you're still encouraging your fellow committee members to submit forecasts even if you're not doing it. So what do you think is the benefit of them doing it even if you don't?
That's the commitment that the FOMC made, and it's a commitment that I hope we live up to. Commitment we made was to deliver price stability. I expect us to live up to it. By the time we get to the end of this year, as I mentioned, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a new communications framework. There were some changes to the SEP. That's a committee discussion, a robust discussion. I think we'll have it. I believe we're going to come to a better mix of communications to deliver on what we promised, but I wouldn't want to prejudge what those are. But between now and then, I would continue to expect colleagues to submit their SEPs. Some of them, I think, believe that the practice is currently structured is okay, but I heard a lot of interest in real reform, generally about all these topics. You didn't ask it, but I'll answer. It was a pretty gracious couple of days, and it's been a pretty warm few weeks. The institution wants to figure out how we can do better. The institution's going back to first principles, and I'm encouraged that what we've done in the statement, what we're thinking about doing with respect to the SEP, that instinct towards a new chapter is a real one, and by the end of the year, I hope we can put some points on the board, both in form and in substance of delivering.
Go to Enda for the last question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Andy Curran, Bloomberg News. Could you guide us through, please, some of the principles that guide your own reaction function, and tell us a little bit about the kind of conditions that you think when the Fed should respond?
It's going to be a very unsatisfactory answer to the final question. The Federal Reserve has a lot of responsibilities, not just in monetary policy, but in supervision and regulation, consumer affairs, and payments. My own view is our credibility comes from delivering on what we're saying we're going to do across everything we do. I've devoted more time in my first 3 weeks to monetary policy than all those things. But the more we deliver on our promises as good supervisors and good regulators, the more benefit we get, the more credibility enhancement we have in monetary policy. When we deliver on our price stability objectives, which we will, the American people will feel as though the hardships that they've been living through, in part because of inflation in the last 5 years, are in the rearview mirror, and that credibility will have dividends across what we do, and the institution will come to press conferences like this always with an impetus to reform, always with an impetus to do better, but we're going to put some points on the board.
Mr. Chairman, on labour data in recent months, how would you sum up the labour market right now? Do you see it as stable and as potentially a source of inflation? Thank you.
Yeah. So the committee, if I were to try to capture how the committee thought about it, the committee thought that the labor markets were stable. There were some people around the committee who thought that it was trending better than that. Trends matter more than data points. What's happening over 3 or 6 months matters more than any one data point, any one data release. And I'd say the jobs data has been moving in a good direction. If I heard one other thing around that subject over the course of the last couple of days, what I heard was that strong productivity-led growth is not something that we fear, but something we embrace. Thank you all very much.
Damn. Very different. Very different. This statement was so much shorter than Powell's usually is too. Wow. Wow. I mean, he did answer questions very, very thoroughly. As to his credit. All right. Big takeaways right out the gate. We did hit bingo, thankfully. That's always good to see. I guess definitely going to be shifting some of these around for next time. I had no idea what he was going to say or move into. The big takeaway, though, no more forward guidance, fewer meetings, and a task force for individual parts of the markets, or focus, different focuses. That's pretty big. That's pretty big. Bitcoin did not care for this Fed, I guess. At 65, holding on right now, 65.3. We were just at 65.1, but we did lose 66,000 going into this meeting. The dollar is up back up above 100 during this meeting. And yeah, we did see overall market cap start to peak a little bit at about 2.26, right? 2.26 trillion. That's kind of where we landed on overall market cap. Where did it go? Yeah, right here. Right now sitting at 2.24. So coming down a little bit more now after the meeting. We'll see. Well, but we're going steady up so far since we did have that pullback to 2.05. I think that was the low we seen at the beginning of the month. This could be a good thing we need. I didn't like a few of his rhetoric, very hawkish in terms of needing to get back to that, and basically stating that Powell's I guess tenure was not good for the market, right? We never hit our 2% target, even though that was our target. He did state that as of right now, that's still their intended target. So it's not like he's going to just jump into 3% and be like, that's where we want you to be. Now we're doing the same thing again. Let me get back in the chat and see what you guys had to say about it, and then we'll catch up and head out for the day. Robbie Scott says, I like the no forward guidance bit. I think it wrecks the markets way too much and gets the media too many sound bites to run with. I agree with that. I think it kind of goes back to what Trump usually says, that remember when good news used to be, bring us good, price action, and bad news bring us, of course, bad price action. Of course, probably would bring some of that back, I think, into the fray. Right now, it's just, whatever Powell, used to say things in a positive light or a negative light. I guess less meetings would mean the market, we have a little bit more freer way of thinking, a little bit freer way to work around things. But there's still going to be, I would say, more volatility if we have less forward guidance when we do have these black swan-like events. I think those are definitely going to be impossible for us to predict, or we're going to hit hard twice. I guess twice as hard when those do happen. Let's see what else we have here. The journalists always carry these things a bit with what they ask. Didn't catch him using specific names or specific country versus country or events. I think I think the most narrow we got was Middle East, the Middle East conflict. Yeah, Iran war. Robbie Scott agrees. Fat Son agrees with Robbie. Cliff says yes. Robbie agree that no forward statements. When I don't see the instant volatility, it feels like a tickling time bomb. I know, right? I know. I'm hinging on it as well. Bitcoin holding 65 flat right now. Any FOMC like this anyway in the markets? Okay, feels like this in the markets. Yep. I think long term, anything he said sounded great for the longer term. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what this task force looks like. I agree with the current Fed chair that we've been using way too much old data, right, for too damn long. And the way we've done things, of course, have been ancient. I think we need to be looking at current data for, of course, our current economy. Kind of silly that we do, you know, and these baskets of goods that we do, it's just ridiculous. And we choose and pick and whatever. And it all changes every year. It's all bullshit. Fat Sonic says, Powell really just says, need more data. Yes. Yeah, you're right. We're going to need more data to make the new changes at this time. Yes. I didn't get what he did. but hell, randomly do shit and then didn't get what he did. That's what Fat Sonic said. I hear you. So far, I like Fed Watch, but we're probably going to be seeing a lot less of him and the committee anyway. But that may mean that we get more meetings and interviews with the entire committee. We might actually start to see more Papa Powell and more of the other governors, like Lisa Cook and everyone else. I think Myron's gone now. Of course, soon, right? Soon. Well, we almost got him to say soon. One time I actually... I felt like I was speaking directly through him, the screen, and he answered it. He said, "Oh, it's coming right down the pipeline. It's gonna be here," but he didn't say soon. That was fun. But yeah, we did get bingo. He did say the dual mandate. We're stuck to our dual mandate, like Papa Powell used to always say. Obviously, he said inflation a bunch of times. AI, yes, being the hot topic in the meeting with the most, of course, flames. We had the economy mentioned, obviously, the labor market, etc., the economy, oil, energy, etc., etc. That's the biggest concern we have right now, even with the price of oil coming down today. So anyway, guys, that's my big takeaway from this meeting. And we are starting to see some more volatility to the downside. Bitcoin did just break 65, back down to 64.7. I guess we can take a look at the overall health of Bitcoin this evening, taking away from God, it's so hard to not stop saying Papa Powell. Warsh, I'm probably going to start saying the worst of Warsh. It's now, digesting the worst of Warsh. Geez, it's going to be hard to get used to that. 64.7 right now on Bitcoin, chopping down lower as we go. 64.3, obviously going to be the stopping point if we do see a recovery this evening. Again, the foreign market's going to have a ball game with this one. They're going to have a ball with this. It's going to be a good dip for them if we get down to 64 and some change, or even 63 tonight. Overall, again, short term is looking a little bullish at the moment in terms of who's got the moves right now in play, but it's very short-lived. Possible recovery in maybe like 3 or 4 hours from now. All right, guys, that's all I got for you tonight. We're going to be back again at 8 p.m. Eastern for another live stream. Of course, our foreign market open. Interested to see, of course, how much the foreign market gobbles up of all these coins, all these assets, of course, starting to bleed out right now. We're actually up a little bit now. We were down. No, we were up a point now. We're almost down a point now. But we are actually up. We're up a day on the day for about 1% on top of 1 and 200. Top of 200, 300% right now is almost at 2% up. Looks like the O1 exchange is pumping up the market. Just brought itself into the top 300. We don't typically look at the top 300, but I can take a look and see what this coin is. It just broke out 153% here on the day. What's going on with O1? I guess ticker is O on CoinMarketCap. Oh, the O1 exchange. All right, so market cap is sitting at $86 million. It's less than 100 milli. It's on the Binance Smart blockchain, of course. Thing is, it's on Binance now. 160 million tokens that are circulating of what's only 16% of the entire supply. There's a billion tokens out there. And this coin, I'm assuming, is an exchange token. An exchange on-chain trading platform that functions as a meta DEX aggregator, on-chain trading terminal, and a mobile trading interface. It integrates spot trading, perpetual futures, prediction markets, etc., like everyone else. All right, gotcha. So that's what's going on with today. So it just popped in the top 3 hundo. Haven't seen that one before. And it still looks like it has room to run too in the flag it's printing. All right, guys. I'm gonna head on out. I can see 60K on the 4 hour. Says Fat Sonic. It's coming down. I don't know about 60K today, but we have to get through the rest of the week as well. Robbie Scott says Bitcoin going to 62.9. I'd be looking for the uptrend at 60K flat. Robbie Scott. Also, you guys are looking at that in the charts. Fat Sonic says the markets are confused. They're going to be battling it out hard. Certain assets should squeeze while others dump it. It had to guess. Bitcoin will show the real trend. I'm right there with you. And I'm probably leaning a little bit higher towards the 63 if we do see a pullback there today. That's probably as much pain as we're going to see. And it's right on top of Robbie Scott too. He's gone for 629. It's about the same. That's probably the most pain I'd see for Bitcoin in the next 24 hours. All right, guys. I will see you again tonight, 8 p.m. We'll see. Later, guys. Catch you in a bit. See ya. Peace.
Fly me to the moon. Let me trade among the stars. Let me see what freedom's like without money and gold bars. Hold Nike. Oh! Another. Let's make history. Oh! Fill my walls with more wrongs and let me huddle around more and more and more and more and more. I want more. Hollywood shop in the door. In other words, I choose you.
Thanks again, guys, for coming on out and, of course, watching the first Fed Warsh live stream, FOMC meeting. Again, thanks again. Shout out to Cliff for being my #1 fan. As always, man, I love you. I'll catch you all again soon. Yes,
when
soon.
will then be now?
He didn't say it.
Soon.
I'll say it. Later.
Watch the cash burn, land fade. A new world rises. We've made the trade. The robots are rising. Ice taking the crown. But we're the ones